How was your night last night?
Good, mate. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Say what's up to the vlog.
I'm a vlog, you're vlogging.
I still like last night for the big call.
What's the name of the vlog?
Oh, KJ
KJ Campbell. KJ Campbell for
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Next up, baby. How are you?
Oh, sorry.
Big news. While Jake Paul is still in the hospital, Anthony Joshua's surprise, music, visit has sent huge shockwaves through the boxing world. Joshua didn't only inspire people with a knockout punch. He changed the whole story by coming there himself, flipping the headlines around and showing this is not just about winning, but about respect and clear heavyweight power.
AJ.
How are you? Let's go. Let's go. Holiday. Cheers. Enjoy that.
How was your night last night?
Duke McKenzie points out how Joshua's KO left Jake Paul with a broken jaw, showing the fight was not only about winning, but about sending a message. Watching Joshua go to see Paul in the hospital proves his power and control, showing what happens when someone underestimates a real heavyweight champion. Respect and fear came together in one moment. I'm happy Anthony Joshua did that too, because now he won't be able to talk the way he does for a while. After the painful loss, Jake Paul went on social media to thank his supporters, showing a mix of being humble and thinking deeply. Even with the broken jaw and the harsh KO, his posts show he understands how serious it is to face a fighter like Anthony Joshua. Fans can see the respect growing even though he lost. Jake Paul. Thank you. Thank you. Music. Anthony Joshua's visit to Jake Paul in the hospital shows a side of a champion that is bigger than just the boxing ring. This was not only a KO, it was a lesson, and Joshua made sure Paul understood the results. Watching Joshua talk directly to Paul shows the respect he expects, the discipline he carries, and the authority he has as a true heavyweight. Fans who see this know Joshua is not just strong. He is thoughtful, commanding, and fully in control both inside and outside the ring. Carl Froch clearly shows how crazy it was for Jake Paul to think he could last against Joshua. Even after 18 minutes in the ring, Paul barely landed anything while Joshua controlled every moment. Froch points out the survival instinct starting as Paul realized the big difference in skill, strength, and strategy. Seeing this, fans understand Joshua's control and accuracy left no space for mistakes and proved his real heavyweight dominance. It's __.
I'm glad Anthony Joshua did that to him, because now he won't be able to talk like he does for a while.
Boxing Ego points out the damage Joshua caused, leaving Paul with a jaw broken in 2 spots. This clear proof shows the real power and accuracy Joshua brings. Fans watching understand this is not an exaggeration. It is a demonstration of why Joshua is on a completely different level. The hospital situation confirms the KO was not only dominant, it was final and career-defining.
Sur le Twitter de Jake Paul, qui réagit directement après le combat. Donc ça, vous voyez quand il met thank you à tout le monde, donc à ses supporters, à ses haters, à sa team, à tous les combattants, à Netflix, à la boxe, à Dieu, il dit merci à tout le monde. Ça, c'était juste avant le combat et il disait ce soir, enfin cette nuit, nous allons choquer le monde. Ça, c'était juste avant le combat. Et ce qui est drôle, c'est que le tweet de juste après, c'est est-ce que j'étais payé pour perdre?
A little __ up. But will you take care of me forever and ever? The weight idea explains how Jake Paul tried to stay safe and throw a counterpunch. But even this plan only made the ending take a little longer. Joshua's timing and skill were a little tested, but his power and control finally won. People watching can see that Joshua adjusts when there is pressure and never loses focus. This was not a perfect performance, but it reminded everyone why he is a real heavyweight force.
The fucking piss take that this guy's in there with Anthony Joshua, swinging away, landing... What's he done? He's had 18 minutes and landed 2 shots, and he's gone on survival mode.
Nikki Sabadarian says that even after the harsh knockout, Jake Paul earned respect for showing heart. Fans can see the toughness it takes to face Joshua, but it also shows how much Joshua was in control. The popular phrase shows people admiring the courage, but it cannot hide the fact that Joshua controlled the fight the whole time. The heart could be seen, but the gap in skill was impossible to ignore.
The kid has a broken jaw, it appears, after fighting Anthony Joshua, right? I made this graphic for you guys. You see it. Got his jaw broken in 2 places.
Care of me forever and ever? Little fucked up. But when you take care of me forever and ever? Little fucked up. But when you take care of me forever and ever?
Johnny Nelson explains how Joshua slowly broke down Paul's confidence step by step. It was not about beating him up badly. It was about showing the real truth about his claims and what he can actually do. Watching the fight closely, fans could see Paul's belief fading away with every accurate punch. Joshua's control was both physical and mental, showing that real heavyweight mastery needs both the mind and the body. Music.
But I think Jake fought a very, how do I survive long enough to land a right hand type of fight, and it made it a little difficult for AJ to get his timing. No excuses. AJ didn't look great. I'll be honest. He didn't look great. He didn't look like, an AJ we thought we were going to get, the marauder, the guy that was going to come forward and bang out Jake in one round. Pause.
Eddie Hearn points out that Joshua needed a few rounds to figure Jake Paul out, showing patience and careful accuracy. When the knockout finally landed, it was crushing, leaving Paul with a broken jaw. The fight tested Joshua's timing and plan, but he stayed calm. Paul's toughness is recognized, but Joshua's power and skill took over. This moment shows that facing a real heavyweight like Joshua brings serious consequences, and even the bravest fighters cannot handle his accuracy and strength once he finds his rhythm in the ring.
That Jake is safe, and more so that he showed his heart. I don't know if you guys were looking on Twitter, but until about 20 minutes ago, the #1 trending thing on Twitter wasn't Jake Paul getting knocked out, wasn't Jake Paul, wasn't Anthony Joshua. It literally was the phrase, respect.
Johnny Nelson explains how Joshua slowly took apart Paul's confidence step by step. It was not about hurting him badly. It was about showing the real truth about his claims and what he can really do. Watching the fight closely, fans could see Paul's confidence slowly disappearing with every clean punch. Joshua's control was both physical and mental, showing that real heavyweight mastery needs both the mind and the body. Music.
They wanted AJ to knock this boy out clean and get rid of him because they, everybody I've spoken to, they're like, I want to see Jake Paul get knocked out. And I just said, I don't want to see him get knocked out. I want to see him get beat up. I want to see him quit. I want to see the reality of everything he's saying and doing kick in. And in a way it did happen, but he didn't get beat up. And slowly but surely the confidence, the self-belief ripped out of him to the point where he's dropping on his knees. He's like, he must have fallen down about 12 times.
David Hay explains that Jake Paul tried to stay in the fight with a smart game plan, moving side to side and looking for an opening. Even with his plan, Joshua's timing and power were too strong, landing big punches that finally broke Paul's jaw. Fans watching can see that smart tactics are not enough against top-level skill and music accuracy. Joshua's ability to adjust and end the fight shows why he is still a top-tier heavyweight. Paul's courage is noticed, but Joshua's control was complete, leaving no space for argument.
It took AJ a couple of rounds to get hold of him, and then he knocked him spark out and broke his jaw. It was a frustrating 2-3 rounds maybe, because Jake was moving so much.
The Doll Riley points out that Joshua's win was not just a ring victory. It was a huge statement that reached new fans. Even though Joshua was already famous, the fight with Paul showed his dominance and let viewers who might have doubted him see his skill. Fans saw the mix of power, timing, and control that makes Joshua a heavyweight force. Paul's efforts, though brave, were no match. The fight helped strengthen Joshua's reputation as a global superstar and confirmed his authority in the division.
Well, the fight was, it weren't a fight, was it? It was really, really one-sided. Jake Paul, yeah, I've got to give him credit really, because he's super fit. He's pretty clever really. Like, he'd make a good journeyman.
Logan Paul points out how tough it was for Jake Paul to fight Anthony Joshua even with a rolled ankle and a broken jaw. Lasting multiple rounds against one of the strongest heavyweights in the world is amazing. Fans can see Paul's heart and courage, but Joshua's skill and power made it clear who really controlled the fight. This was a test of will and strength. And while Paul was brave, Joshua's performance showed why he is on a completely different level.
The knockout, everyone was expecting it. It's very difficult to pin someone down when they're not trying to engage. Jake's game plan was a good one, was to use lateral movement and hope to land a big overhand right at some stage to catch AJ off guard. Didn't quite work out, but you got to give Jake credit. Took some big shots there. I think he's got a broken jaw or some spitting blood at the end of the fight. No, anything's possible. He gave it a go. He dared to be great. Didn't work out for him, understandably. That's why he was such a massive underdog.